create anything that is real and living. It was God who created me. It was God who endowed my parents with the ability to co-create with Him to bring me into this world and to raise me. The government public servants are trustees. I am the beneficiary. What are we, the people, creators of government? Now, what the Constitution has to say about our rights? And then I go in the Bill of Rights of the Constitution. I'm not going to read that all to you. You need to read it. You need to understand it. You need to know your rights. You need to know where they're written down, and you need to know to bring them up. One of the rights you have is no one has a greater right to their child than you do. Not the government, not CPS, not some family you don't know or never heard of. No one has a greater right to your child than you. So you need to stand up and demand that right and keep your kid under your arm. This is the public officer's contract, the Constitution. The Constitution is a compact, is a contract that was written and adopted by the state to hold the government to provide us with 19 essential governmental services and no more. That's what we have to understand, that contract, what that binds, who that is binding to. It is not bound to the citizen, other than Article 14, which created the United States citizen. Here I shall stand, rescinding all past contracts, agreements, or waiver of rights for cause of fraud. This is where if they've got you to sign something, and they all have, whether it's your mother signing your birth certificate, or you signing your child's birth certificate, or applying for a Social Security card, or a voter's ID, or a driver's license, or a protective order, or a TPR, you're going to rescind all of those contracts for cause of fraud. If you've signed a plea deal, anything, if you give any power of attorney to someone, you can rescind all of that for fraud. Why? Because there was no full and honest disclosure, no meeting of the minds. This is where your first middle is separated by a semicolon in your last name, because you're talking about the living man or woman. Hereby repudiate, revoke, and rescind any waiver I may have previously made of these rights, unknowingly, unwittingly, under duress, under coercion, forced upon me through fearful scare tactics, under lies, under any false assumptions or presumptions, or through any perceived tacit agreement. We talked a little last time about tacit agreement. Hopefully everybody understands what that is. It's simply, usually without you even knowing it, a police officer or a judge gets your tacit agreement of you being a citizen, a person, or a resident within the first 60 seconds in a courtroom or walking up to your window of your car. Or by any signature which may have been used by a fictional corporate officer. That's you. That's you being a fictional officer of your corporation, that entity that was created upon your birth through fraud. That was registered by your all caps name as a vessel lost at sea or a transmitting utility created by government and recorded as human resources and used as human capital by an investment bond or note. Created in a dog Latin gloss and name. That's your all caps name. Now, the Department of Human Resources of your state registers you, bonds you, insures you as human capital. And you can look up executive orders that say this. There's many acts of Congress that say this. We're not making this stuff up. It's out there. this custom number they're using is registered through the United States Treasury bonds. It's the full faith and credit of the United States government. Treasury bonds are issued upon everyone's birth. They're bundled into an LEI and regulated by the SEC. And you can look those up in Fidelity or GMEI Utilities website. Now, we have the unlimited right to contracts. These contracts can be made with anyone. As a man or a woman, we can contract with anyone we want to contract with. We just need to make sure that that contract is fair, honest, has full disclosure, and it meets the 8 elements of the contract, which is listed later on in this document. I'm going to skip a lot of this stuff in here. I expect you guys to read this over and over and over and over so that you know it. Okay? They cannot take away anyone's right to contract. A right of contract is a property right. Okay? But we can rescind the contract that they have given us that they did not give us full and honest disclosure of. And they lie about everything. Everything. They just say, oh, you just need to take this drug test. You just need to pass this competency hearing. You just need to do this or that, and then we'll return your kid. And then 18 months goes by and they're TPRing you. Even though you did everything you were supposed to do. They don't care. It's not in their best interest to give your child back to you. They're a for-profit business. They're not going to give their product away. And that's what they're doing. Now, if 2 or more come to your door, if a CPS agent comes with a police officer or 2, that is a conspiracy against your rights. Okay, it's under Title 18, Section 241, and it is a felony, and they could be fined or imprisoned. What they are doing is they're operating under the color of law to deprive you of your rights. The Supreme Court of the United States says rules, codes, statutes, ordinances are not law. They are not law. Think about that one for just a minute. All these things they're telling you are law are not law. They are corporate bylaws. Therefore, employees of the corporation to follow. Citizens. Citizen is a employee of the corporation. A citizen, person, and resident are 3 things you do not want to be, or you will be held accountable to every little rule, code, statute, and ordinance that they can make up or dream up. You know, they pass. There's millions of laws on the books. You're a criminal before you even get out of bed in the morning. Why should you obey those? If you walk into McDonald's to buy a hamburger, do you have to follow all the same rules that a McDonald's employee has to follow? No. But as a citizen, they're making you do that. See? The Supreme Court has warned, because of what appear to be lawful commands on the surface, many citizens, because of their respect for what appears to be law, are cunningly coerced into waiving their rights to do things. Man, what a powerful case law that was. Okay? U.S. versus Meeker. Very powerful case law stating that you are cunningly coerced due to your own ignorance. If we are in jail, it's because we consented to put ourselves there. I mean, like it or not, if they took your kids, it's because you consented to let them take your kids. So you have to learn to stop consenting, to stand up, to stand belligerently upon your rights. Only a righteous and lawful living man or woman can have standing. So here we're challenging standing. See, they like to say are treating you all as dead entities. Okay? Dead entities. You're all dead. When a living man or woman walks in the courtroom, they're the only ones withstanding. And I know I'm going to go through this much faster as we go deeper into it because a lot of it is repeat. So don't be scared that it's 90 pages and we're on page 17, okay? Because we don't have to go through all 90 pages for you to understand. Now, I expect you to, because if you stand up in court and you're questioning on this document, you better know what it says, okay? All government corporations, agencies, agents, officers, and every level of government, every state, county, municipality, and in every capacity must obey the Constitution and these treaties if they're brought forward into life. For this sunlight is the best disinfectant. In Genesis 2:7, and the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils and brought the life, and man became a living soul. That is what we are. We are living souls. Our body is going to get buried. It's going to return to dust. But when we walk into the courtroom, we walk in alive as a living soul, somebody competent, somebody who can stand and have standing. Now we're going to challenge status. What is status? Status is, are you a citizen, person, or a resident? Or are you a we the people? Are you a state national? It is your estate, the estates of your fathers and grandfathers. You are the holder in due course, the rightful beneficiary. So it's your job to command the administrator as a fiduciary to settle and dismiss this matter. All of they are as bankers. A court is a bank, a judge is a banker, a court clerk is a bank teller. If you're indicted, that's known as a true bill. If you can't pay the bill, you're brought up on charges. If you can't pay the charges, they're holding your body as surety for the bond. If you can't pay the bond, they're going to collect from your Social Security trust, your birth bond. Everything is a banking term in the courtroom. Understand that. They're nothing but banks. It's exactly the same as walking into Wells Fargo and standing in front of the bank branch manager. Okay? Now, here it says, I have previously repudiated my citizenship via affidavit to the President of the United States, the Secretary of State, and the Attorney General of the United States, as well as to the Attorney General of the state wherein I was born. This is something I've done, many people have done, and it's something I encourage you to do. The United States Code says you must do it to the Secretary of State of the United States. That's all it says. You need to send an affidavit to the Secretary of State repudiating. I have another document, another affidavit that is a repudiation. It's the one I use, and I send it every time there's a new regime change. Every time there's a new president, a new Secretary of State, a new Attorney General, I send them another one. Why do I do that? Because I want them to know why I'm making this decision. This is an important decision and why I'm making it. Because they have corrupted and usurped this government that we love, this government of the United States of America. And because they've usurped it, we either need to take it back or we need to not be part of it. You want to turn that down or mute that, Diana, please?
How do I do that?
There's a little mute thing right at the very top. Should be right at the top of your screen. You just touch or put your mouse on the mute button. Looks like a little microphone. Thank you. Again, I am not a U.S. citizen, but I am a state national as described in the United States Code, Section Section 1101A21, with limited diplomatic immunity as one who created government as per the Geneva Convention. When you're a state national, you have limited diplomatic immunity. What does the word limited mean? It means if you don't injure someone else or their property, then you have diplomatic immunity to the laws, statutes of this United States. As long as you don't injure someone else or their property, you are a non-resident alien to the District of Columbia or to the International Monetary Fund. A citizen of the United States is a civilly dead entity operating as a co-trustee and co-beneficiary of the Public Charitable Trust, the QB Trust of the United States, Inc., under the 14th Amendment, which upholds the debt of the USA and USC. You are a debtor as a citizen. You are a creditor as an American state national. Learn the difference, learn the advantages and the disadvantages. As a citizen, you have privileges. You can collect welfare. You can get housing or a free phone. Okay? As an American state national, you stand on your own. You go out, you work, you earn a living, and you're free. And I'd rather be free than be beholden to government. Because being beholden to government is a very, very steep price, like the loss of your children, like being thrown in prison, like having to obey every little tiny rule that they can come up with. Laws provide the whim of a politician. Okay? The defendant is charged above described as dead end. That means your all caps name at the top of this document. And therefore is a debtor. It doesn't have its own blood, sweat, and tears, so it's incapable to earn money. So it's incapable of his remedy. Profit. I said, I'm on this ground, which I suppose to be self-evident, that the earth belongs in you, brought to the living, that the dead have neither powers nor rights over it. That was a letter from Thomas Jefferson to James Madison criticizing the new Constitution. Why does that? Because it says the new Constitution, we've even had another one since then. The Constitution usurped the Articles of Confederation. Okay? That was the original Constitution for the United States. It's called the Articles of Confederation. Why the man have awakened to the fact that whose eye, the living man, whose blood, sweat, and tears of his labor, the man, has been fraudulently held as a surety and as the debtor, when in reality it is I, the true holder in due course, and the creditor. So you're waking them up. You're saying, look, you've got this debtor, this citizen over here, and I'm the man, I'm alive, and I'm the creditor over here. It is my credit that gave our government full faith and credit in the United States. I would like to remind you that the act of either remaining a U.S. citizen or becoming one is voluntary. It's a voluntary revocable act according to the U.S. Supreme Court in the case of the United States versus Kirchhoff. All citizenship is a product of intent and domicile, and it is never my intent to be a U.S. citizen. I may over my lifetime have mistakenly, without knowing it, checked the little box on some form that said I'm a U.S. citizen, or filed a 1040. That doesn't mean I am. In fact, the Supreme Court says I haven't gone through the steps necessary to even become a citizen. Unless you're from another country and you went through the naturalization process, you're not a U.S. citizen. They are, but you're not. You're a state national. If you run for public office in that state, while you are holding public office, you are a state citizen. In need to understand the different statuses in the United States and be the one you're supposed to be, not the one they presume you to be. Now we challenge jurisdiction